Hi everyone, this is the first lesson recording for week 7 of distance learning for IM2. We are going to be exploring volumes of 3D solids today as well as spheres. To begin, we started off with some warm-up problems, so at this point please pause the video so that you can copy down the problems and try to solve them yourself. You're finding the surface area of each figure and you can round your answer to the nearest hundredth if necessary. Please solve them now and we'll go through the answers at the end. Announcements. This week's schedule is slightly different because of the Memorial Day weekend. So if you are from period 4 and you're watching this video recording ahead, don't forget to turn up for the last 10 minutes to take the weekly quiz on Friday. So that will be happening at 1:50 on Friday. And if you're a senior, this is your last math lesson at Prospect. Yay! So congratulations and good luck. And you are excused from completing the last mini project that I am going to be explaining just now. Okay, so final mini project, surface area and volume. This is in lieu of this week's homework as well as next week's quiz. That means that this is your homework for this week and you will not have a quiz next week in class. Let me explain this project a little bit more in detail, and to do so I am going to go to my Google Classroom. If I go to my Google Classroom, under classwork you are going to find under week 7, you're going to find the DL week 7 mini project surface area and volume. So if you start looking at that, it gives you all the relevant information here. Complete the assignment and upload your work as an attachment. You may work with a partner, and if you do that, you just need to submit one copy with each member clearly labeled so that I can give you credit to both of them. So both of you. Okay, you can print this out or you can use binder paper to work on it and then take a picture of it and submit it. So what are you doing? You are looking to find how much material do we need to build each one of the items below, how much material do we need to fill the items below. So we are looking at surface area and volume, and you are also developing the estimation skills as calculating skills. And you are given 6 different 3D solids, and there is a sample of the first problem solved for you so that you can look at it for example. Like I said, you may work with a partner, one other person from the same class. That's the maximum, 2 people working together, not 3, just 2. However, the contribution from each member must be clearly visible and it needs to be equally divided, as in, like, you can't have one person doing all the calculation and do all the math work and the other person just doing some drawing or doing some research. Both of you need to be involved with the research as well as calculations. So use your partnership to just make sure you're doing things correctly, to bounce back ideas, not so much to divide and conquer, because I need both of you to have practice doing this. The grading, it will be worth 20 points from the homework as well as the 20 points from the assessment because it's in lieu of the quiz. You will be graded on completion, clear communication of the thinking process, that's going to be 5 points. Accuracy is going to be 5 points. That means minimal or no error in calculation. Authenticity, is it your authentic work or did you just copy it from someone else? Okay, so that's going to be 5 points. Choice of units and rounding is going to be 5 points. So when you do some research or when you're measuring some things yourself, you have to decide, okay, what would be the best choice for the units given this particular item? Okay, is it going to be meters? Is it going to be centimeters? Is it going to be kilometers? Or is it going to be inches? Okay, you need to decide that, as well as rounding. Okay, if the answer is in 10,000s, I don't need to see rounding to 2 decimal places. However, if your answer is 2.78, then yes, having those 2 decimal places will be helpful. So those are the questions that you should be asking to make sure that you are rounding properly and you're giving me enough significant digits to communicate your answer clearly. And again, you will be graded on equal and effective partner contribution, meaning that both the partner needs to be contributing equally and it needs to be clearly visible who's doing what. So perhaps you might want to say, oh, okay, make a note, this is done by SV, meaning Susan Van Horn, or something like that, and the other portion was done by John Smith, JS, or something like that. It's due on the finals day, so you have 4th period, you have your finals on Monday. I know it's not giving you much time, so I am willing to give you extension, but you need to email me if you need extension. And period 5, it's going to be due on Tuesday at 11:55 p.m. So in the before midnight, it needs to be turned in. So, and if you click on this document, it is going to give you all the information yet again, as well as examples. So, okay, so let me go through the document. So if you look at the first page, it tells you what you are required to do, as well as this is the sample problem and solution that I've done for you. So if the first question was, if we were looking at Coke can, then the first column you are supposed to write 2 things. What does surface area represent? It represents the amount of aluminum needed to make a can. And then what does the volume represent in this case? The volume represents the amount of soda in the can, right? And for this column diagram, you're supposed to draw a diagram and label as H and R and S whatever is relevant for the formula that you are using. The dimension, you have two different dimensions. The rough estimate is, this one I said estimate from my memory. Okay, when I think about a can of Coke or any other soda, how big do I think radius is? You should be thinking about, okay, how big is an inch? But if given that is the case, I am going to guess that radius is about 1.5 inches and height maybe about 6 inches. Okay, and then you might also, then from there you're going to do your calculations of the surface area with the estimated dimensions, as well as the volume with the estimated dimensions. Make sure you use the correct units, and make sure the units that you're using is a good choice. Okay, if I was to measure this can of Coke, I would not measure in, say, I don't know, in meters. Meters would not make sense. I could choose centimeters or inches. That would be a good choice. As well as rounding. I don't want huge rounding. I need to have enough of digits. So in this case, I just decide to go to 1 decimal place. Then I found the dimensions by actually going to my can and measuring it. Hopefully you well, this is not one of the problems, so you do not need to measure it. But when I actually measured it, this is the measurements that I got. And the source is measured in inches. So if it was ambiguous case of, different size of cans, so then I might say, oh, this was 12-ounce can, and I might include that here as well. Then using these values that I have done the calculation. As part of the source, if you are using online research to get your source, say for some of the problems you are going to have to do that, you are going to put the link of that source right here. So let's go through. The first problem is a box of Cheerios or any other cereal box that you might have at home. So then I would like you to put in a picture of it if you can here, and then draw, and then get an estimate, rough estimate as to what do you think, how big the dimensions are, and then actually measure it yourself, and then do the calculations here. The second item is the Leaning Tower of Pisa. So again, For this, you're not going to be able to measure yourself, right? So you're going to, for the actual measurement, you are going to go do some online research and find some measurement. Here it says to calculate surface area and volume, assume that the tower is upright and not leaning. Okay, it gets a little bit more complicated to calculate the surface area if it is leaning, so assume that it is not leaning. But notice that there is sort of, it's like a little cake. There is this base cylinder, and then there is a little narrower cylinder right at the top. So you do need to take that into consideration. Okay, so and then the third problem is two-person triangle tent. Again, you need to specify the source. If you went online and just Googled two-person triangular tent and got your dimensions from there, please state the link of that as well as what you found to be the dimensions that you're using to calculate the surface area and the volume, and make sure you fill in all the details. Surface area, what does surface area represent in this case? What does volume represent in this case? The fourth problem is the pyramid at the Louvre Museum, Paris in France. That's pretty cool research. You can make sure you put in the link for the research, as well as you can put in some estimate as to how big you think it is from based on pictures or whatever. Fifth is this giant ice cream cone in Norway. So this is the Guinness World Record ice cream cone. Again, you should be writing down the source. Oops, I need to fix this document, it looks like. Okay, and then finally the last one is a sphere of your choice. Okay, so there are many spheres that you are going to be in contact with. So it could be your basketball, it could be something bigger, it could be many different things. So it could even be something that you have researched that you thought was pretty cool. Okay, so I am going to leave it to you to decide what it is that you are going to be doing it on, as well as the units that you're going to be measuring in, and make sure you are putting in the source appropriately. And at the end, it gives you a little bit more information about when it is due, how it is graded, and so on and so forth, which is a repetition. Okay? Okay, so what's going to happen on the finals week? It is optional for you to turn up to the finals week, but you are not going to be marked as absent if you do not attend it. As long as you are turning in your homework, the last homework, then you will be marked as engaged. But I am more valuable for you during the finals time to give you any last minute support on the mini project, or if you are interested in doing the optional quiz makeup retake. And this optional quiz makeup, I have explained it to you last week. But if you're interested in this, and this is really important, you need to let me know so that I prepare, because at this point I'm not really sure whether anybody is interested or not. So if you are interested, please let me know so that I will prepare some retake or makeup material. Okay, so let me go through the answers here. These are the answers that you should have. Okay, I am going to show you the worked out solution to the warm-up problem. That is question 1. So please pause the video if you have any questions about this. And then this is my question 2. And then finally, number 3 will look like this. And finally, the last question will look like this. Okay, and if you have any questions, come see me. This is the end of the first lesson recording.